So I see price coming down here, hitting this bullish order block, possibly coming into mean threshold. And then I see it making its way back up. Price will come down here, come to this bullish order block when I drew those two white lines, hit mean threshold. Okay, it actually went a little bit lower than I expected. Okay, and I said it would have a strong reaction back up. Deal Surgeons, Elite Masterminds is going on. This is Diamond Life. I'm doing a before and after review for the week. No, not really the week, just kind of the beginning of the week here. So we got the weekly chart and the daily chart. Okay, so what I see happening based on my analysis is this. Go ahead and screenshot. So up here on the daily chart, we have a volume imbalance. This is ICT stuff. If you don't study ICT, well, if you know, you know. This is a volume imbalance, okay? This is one right here as well. We also have another volume imbalance here. Well, let me just point to it. We got a volume imbalance here. We got a volume imbalance here. We got a volume imbalance here. Now, if you study ICT, you understand that he says that the volume imbalance is still valid unless a candle is laid over it. So if you see this red candle is laid over this volume imbalance right here. So he says once you have one candle laid over it in the respective time frame, then he's done with that volume imbalance. So if that's true, which it is, then this one is still open and this one is still open. Okay. Also, we have a what? Bullish order block right here. So I see price coming down here, hitting this bullish order block, possibly coming into mean threshold. And then I see it making its way back up strongly. Why? Because we have, if you look down on here, we have on the weekly chart, we have a supply gap here, if you understand supply and demand, or what ICT will call a fair value gap. But we can't get to that gap unless we go down and fill in this bullish order block right here. OB. Okay, so let me delete this. So that's kind of what I see happening. So what I want to do is I want to go short. The only thing I'm looking at is we have a bullish, we have a bearish order block right here. So we have bearish order block. So if you understand ICT's teachings, the order block is valid once this low is actually taken. And if you really understand ICT, you understand that this order block here is more significant than this one. Okay, because it's higher up close. So what I'm thinking is price may retrace up back up to this order block, either the opening price here, which lines up with the low here. So I'm thinking it may come back up here, or it may actually come back up to this opening price here, which is close to mean threshold or 25% of this order block here. So I'm thinking it may come back up, and I want to be a seller, and I want to hold it all the way down to what? This bullish order block here. Okay. I want to hold it down to here. So I think it may come down and maybe even to mean threshold, which is 50% of that red candle. And I see it exploding up. Exploding up where? I just told you. I see it exploding up because if you go on a higher time frame, such as the weekly and the monthly and the weekly, I would have been wondering, like, when is price coming back up here? But I see that we hit a bullish order block on the weekly and 3-month chart. And so now I believe it has to come back down there on the chart up above. It has to come back down here, hit this order block zone, and then reverse and go back up to fill in this gap. And so I'm going to be a buyer here and hold it strongly. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to see happen. Hopefully price just don't shoot all the way down on the open, which should be in about 30 minutes. But it could do that. So if so, I may just miss the move because I'm not about to chase price. Like ICT say, don't chase it. So I may just wait until price comes down into this area here, which is the order block zone, which is the high consequent encroachment, which is the dotted line, and then the line before that, which is this line, is the opening price, which is really sensitive. But we also have mean threshold down here that we can't forget about. It may actually come down here and take the rejection block as well. So I'm definitely looking to be a buyer somewhere in this candle here on the daily chart. And then I see it exploding. I'm going to hold a strong buy up into this gap get filled in here, this supply gap, or what you may call a fair value gap. So it's kind of what I see happening. It's really the only thing that's due, because when you go down on the weekly, you see that price just filled in a supply, I'm sorry, demand gap. It did it on the daily and the weekly, okay? So it filled in a demand gap recently. I think it was here. Actually, I have another chart I'm just looking at. Where is it? Here. Okay, so here's my other chart. Let me lock the drawings. Oh, Lord. Let me go ahead and lock the drawings here. Maximize the screen. So what I'm saying is, if you understand how this works, it's like ping pong. So it filled in a demand gap here on a weekly chart. The chart you're looking at now is the daily chart. So it filled in this demand gap on a weekly, and then it filled in a demand gap on the daily. Okay, so once that was filled in, you look at the candles. The only thing we have left is a supply volume imbalance up here on the daily, which is the chart we're on now. And the only other supply we have here is here. So, I mean, it has nowhere else to go. Okay, it has nowhere else to go. It failed to try to get it here, and then it went down. So it's like there's nowhere else to go but to the bullish order block. Do you understand that? There's nowhere else to go but to the bullish order block down here. So that's why I'm confident it's going short. Now, I believe it may retrace back up a little bit just to hit these candles because it broke these lows and never retested them. So I see it coming back up a little bit and then pushing down hard to fill in, well, not fill it, we don't have any gaps, but you have these two volume imbalances. Okay, and then coming down to the bullish order block. It may even take the rejection block down here, but, you know, I'm definitely going to be a buyer, probably at mean threshold somewhere, and I'm going to hold a strong buy all the way up to this getting filled in. I'm going to hold for the whole thing to get filled in. Worst case scenario, I'm going to hold for consequent encroachment. Mean threshold, which is 50% of this 1 week supply gap. Thanks for watching. Deal Surgeons, Elite Masterminds, what's going on? This is Diamond Life, and I'm doing a before and after review. Now, when you seen the last video, price was here. I said it, you had the volume imbalances, which was here and here. I said price would come down here, come to this bullish order block when I drew those two white lines, hit mean threshold. Okay, it actually went a little bit lower than I expected. Okay, and I said it would have a strong reaction back up, and that's exactly what happened here. Okay, so just a before and after, it is possible to predict price when you learn from ICT.